Task number 11, cracking SSH keys with John. This task is part of John the Reaper, the basics module, which is part of the complete beginner path on TryHackMe. And we have, okay, I hear you. There are no more file archives, fine. Let's explore one more use of John that comes up semi-frequently in CTF challenges. Using John to crack the SSH private key password of ID/RSA files. Unless configured otherwise, you authenticate your SSH login using a password. However, you can configure key-based authentication, which lets you use your private key, ID/RSA, as an authentication key to log into a remote machine over SSH. However, doing so will often require a password to access the private key. Here we will be using John to crack this password to allow authentication over SSH using the key. SSH to John. Just a simple and a quick side note. There are, if we have access to the private key, we can actually use that file to connect to the SSH. We don't have to crack the password. But now we know another way to crack SSH password. SSH to John. Who could have guessed it? Another conversion tool. Well, that's what working with John is all about. As the name suggests, SSH to John converts the ID/RSA private key, which is used to log in to the SSH session, into a hash format that John can work with. Jokes aside, it's another beautiful example of John's versatility. The syntax is about what you expected. Note that if you don't use SSH to John installed, if you don't have SSH to John installed, you can use SSH to John.py. Located in options, John SSH to John.py. If you're doing this on the attack box, replace the SSH to John command with Python 3 and then you know the path of the SSH to John Python script, or in Kali, which is Python, and then the full path is a bit changed. It's from user share John and SSH to John.py. Kali is basically, this is our path because I use Kali. SSH to John ID/RSA private key file, right? So we just provide, the syntax is basically the same as cracking with RAR files and zip files, but we use SSH to John. We provide the ID/RSA file, greater than sign, and the output file. SSH to John invokes the SSH to John tool, ID/RSA private key file, the path to the ID/RSA file you wish to get the hash of. Greater than symbol, this is the output director. We're using it to redirect the output from this command to another file, which is the output file. That is the file we'll store the output from. An example usage, here we see that, so you have to use actually SSH to John and then use this. Actually, yeah, this is my bad. So this, if you don't have SSH to John installed, you use this instead of this, right? You trigger the Python script. Cracking. For the final time, we're feeding the file we output from SSH to John, which is our example use case, is called ID/RSA _ hash.txt. And as we did with rar.john, we can use this seamlessly with John. And here is the example after we have the SSH private key content. Practical. Now, I'd like you to crack the hash of the ID/RSA file relevant to the task. Okay, the file is located in... Okay. Answer the questions below. What is the SSH private key password? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe? Let's see. No? Okay. Joker? No? Okay. It's actually 5, yeah? Admin. It's SSH. Let's say SSH ID. PW. Pass WVD. Actually, this is okay. This one? No. Linux. Okay, no. ID/RSA. Okay. Okay, let's list. Perfect. Change to John. John, the basics. We have task number 11 and list in here. So we'll use this and we paste it over here. We say Python 3 from opt John and SSH to John Pi. ID RSA from the current directory greater than symbol with ID underscore. Actually, we say here ID underscore RSA hash.txt. Okay, let's list. Perfect, we have that. Now we go over here and we have to use this command, which is John, and then word list will be from, it's actually, yeah, user share word lists, and from here rockyu.txt. Perfect, with ID on the ID RSA hash.txt. Let's see what we get. Mango, whatever. Mango, bam. Awesome.